Joining us today is Dr. Ivan Misner, ivanmisner.com, one of the most successful business gurus that we have. He is the founder of BNI.com, which is the world's largest networking organization. He co-authored the new book, Who's in Your Room? The Secret to Creating Your Best Life. I need help, Ivan, and it's always wonderful to have you on.
Thanks for inviting me back. I'm starting to feel like a regular on the show. Thank you.
You are. So, Ivan, I do this every year, and then I go through the cards, and I try to make notes on the plane on the way back, because it's West Coast, so I have hours to kind of do that. And for the life of me, I still have like about 25 to 40 cards, and I'm like, oh, God, where did I get this card from, and how? It's total blank.
So here's one thing that I really recommend when people are at a large event or a multi-day event and they're getting a lot of business cards. But there's a massive caveat to the end of what I'm going to suggest to you. What I recommend is that you, when you get the card, ask the person, is it okay if I write a note on the back of your card? And then just jot a note down there about the conversation. Maybe, just a sentence about what it was. So that
what booth I was at, where did I meet them? Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Or what was the conversation about? Or what I like is talking to somebody and they express some kind of need, and I'd say, hey, look, I can send you an article on that, or I can introduce you to somebody who can help you with that. Then I always make sure to write down on the back just a quick note, so that in my follow-up, and follow-up is the key, in my follow-up, I make that introduction, or I send that article or link. That's so important. So writing on the back of the cards. Now, sometimes I'll do it as I walk away, but usually I do it while they're standing right there, and I'll just ask them if it's okay. Here's the massive caveat.
Right.
That's a big no-no in Asia. Never write on the back of a card or on a card in most Asian countries, Japan, Malaysia, Hong Kong, China. It is really an insult to write on their cards. Don't even ask, is it okay if I write? Yeah.
What do you do?
So what you do is, if you know, what do you do? I recommend that you have a notepad, a small little notepad. And if you know you're going to be connecting with a lot of Asian business professionals, you start writing on the notepad. Because it's bad form. Plus, the whole business card ritual. Have you ever noticed, and you may have experienced it yourself, when an Asian business person holds the two corners of the card and they bow and hand you the card?
Yes.
Okay. In Japan, that's called the Maishi ritual. And it's the exchange of business cards. And you should learn how to do it in return. Which, Americans, we practically toss a business card at somebody. Business card is no big deal, but it's a big deal in countries like Japan. And so what they do is they hold the two tips of the corner facing you, and they hand it to you. You should take it from the two tips on the bottom, look at it, bow, thank them for the card, and if at all possible, comment on the card. A real easy comment for me generally is that most of the Asian business people that are doing business with Americans have a double-sided card. So it's in Japanese and it's in English. And so I'll usually comment, I see you have English on the back side. That's very nice, thank you. Or whatever. Or it's an attractive card. You comment on the card. That's the ritual, the Maishi ritual, which is very common in Asia. In America, you don't need to do that. But so it does vary a little bit, but I recommend you write on it. That's the way you remember.
Okay, perfect. Now, I was just at an event, a networking event, Ivan, where people didn't have business cards. We don't use them anymore. We're green. We're electronic. I was horrified.
Yeah. So I think that's a really bad idea. Really bad idea. I think that it's possible that we're straddling technology, in that there will be a time where nobody has business cards and it's just an electronic bump of the mobile phones, but we're not there yet. We're absolutely not there yet. Now, I've talked to millennials who say, yes, we are, and then I'll say, okay, well, how many in the room here can do that electronic bump where you just pass? And, it's like 5% of the room. So we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And in a big room, maybe if there are a lot of millennials, you might get 20% of the room. But when 80% of the room still doesn't have that technology or use that technology or understand that technology, then business cards, come on. It's the cheapest form of advertising on the planet. What the heck are you thinking if you don't carry business cards? It's just poor business.